Paul. Abduction cases, it provides an overview of laws aimed at finding, yes, missing children and bring abductors to justice. It explains what parents should expect from law enforcement and prosecutors at all levels and how to request their intervention. Parents should simultaneously pursue all appropriate remedies, including both civil remedies and assistance from law enforcement. Below is a summary of the ways you can involve law enforcement and prosecutors, as more fully discussed in this chapter. Immediately report your missing child to local law enforcement. Oh, I did that 1,500,000 times. Request law enforcement to enter information about your child into the Federal Bureau of Investigation's National Crime Information Center, a missing persons file, the NCIC-MPF, without delay. Law enforcement is required to enter every missing child case into the NCIC within 2 hours of receiving the report. Within 2 hours of me as a parent telling you that you issued court orders and my sons are missing, and you refuse to enforce the law, the law requires you to enter it into the Missing Children's NCIC. Now, I've emailed the FBI probably thousands of times about this issuance of court orders, but the FBI didn't enter them into the database when I said my sons are missing, they're abducted, pooch. And for some stupid reason, you seem to think you can do this. Now, why don't you get me all the children that were entered into the database? Because I emailed the FBI. In fact, I called them years ago. Tried to tell them that you issued court orders where I was not given any notice or opportunity to be heard. Where the petitioner didn't sign it? Pooh. Quite possibly she didn't initiate the court hearing herself. You issued it using the forgery of the county court clerk's signature. The fraudulent use of the court seal, pooch, and the duress that was experienced. Yes. And for some stupid reason, you think that. Now, if it's not in that database within 2 hours, I'm going to sue the FBI, every sheriff, every police officer. See, it's not a local jurisdiction. Now, I told you what the law says. You decided that you're just not going to do what the law says. Well, the law says you're required within 2 hours of receiving information of a missing child from the parent that you have to enter it into the database. Oh. Now you would say, well, if the abduction is in progress, talk to law enforcement about possibly issuing an America's Missing Broadcast Emergency Response, the Amber Alert system. Now, I have talked to law enforcement. I told officer, ooch. I told officer, ooch. I sent you emails, ow. I documented the crimes. And for some reason, you didn't put it in the Amber Alert system. Why don't you get me that? Now, I did actually contact numerous radio stations that are obligated. I contact the Amber Alert system. Could you give me that wireless system known as the Amber Alerts, where if you entered into the system, it becomes a part of a nationwide broadcast system? You know, there are those individuals that, if they get that beep, yes, that text message on their cell phone, there's a kind of a shortwave radio system for those that are firefighters, police officers, paramedics, and physicians. Could you get me the emergency response? Could you do that? I just want to know every cell phone, every telephone number, ouch, every laptop and email address that if they receive an alert from the Amber system or the emergency broadcast. Could you get that for me? Now, I'm sitting here, asking myself, what don't you understand about the requirements of the law?